Hello, I am your author and host, Michelle Lynn Gaines. Welcome to my place.
Feeling lost.
Or empty.
Worried.
Need emotional healing. Guidance. Or just a different way to view yourself. Welcome to Insights for Life, an MLG production.
Welcome to being alone versus being lonely. So what's the difference? Well, being alone is kind of a physical state. I'm alone in this room right now. Or I live alone, or I'm walking alone. And being lonely is kind of an inner state. It's a state of being inside instead of a physical state of being on the outside. You know, many people report feeling lonely while in a crowded room. Many people report feeling lonely inside of a relationship. And many people that are alone seeking a mate or coming out of a divorce also report feeling lonely. But then we have people that live alone and they're not lonely at all. You know, my mother always used to say that people are just cut from a different cloth in God's table. And it took me probably 2 decades to really fully understand. You know, we all have different personalities and upbringing and circumstances and viewpoints and things that have happened to us that shape our view. And that is certainly true. Experiences that shape our view. But I don't think we realize how much those things actually will dictate your approach to things. You know, our view of situations is made up from a lot of different things, but it also dictates largely, to a large extent, our approach on various issues in our life. Relationships, job, cleaning, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, how we enter into or maintain relationships, or how we approach being alone. You know, approach and how you will treat that overall very largely depends on your view of it. So, you know, some people, I think my mother meant the infrastructure. Some people, 10% of us, just have an infrastructure for being loners. They are truly the island of one. And every ship out at sea that lands at its ports, it turns away because it is an island of one. And there's at least 10% of us that really just don't need that other human connection. We don't want to partner with anyone or couple with anyone. We want to dance to the beat of their own drum. And they are truly contented inside being alone. And they spend the majority of their lives this way. And they are not lonely on the inside. But most of us are wired for love and being loved in return. We seek a companion. We seek a partner. Long term, we seek friends. We seek the connection that can be shared through not being a loner. Most of us don't have the infrastructure to be a loner. We just need other people. And so if you find that you do not have the infrastructure for being a true loner, that's the other 80% of us. Now, some of us find ourselves alone. We've already partnered with someone. We have been divorced. Or we just can't find the right person yet. And perhaps we've never lived with anyone but a family member or alone. And these are the states that we find ourselves in. And so, you know, I have to think about why we choose our friends in the first place. Back in school, we choose them because they're nicer to us than others. They pay more attention to us than others. They listen to us more than others. They favor us more than others. But it doesn't mean we'll always see eye to eye. It doesn't mean we'll always view things the same or that we won't fight. So for the same reasons we choose our friends, we would choose our partners. We have to take into consideration that not everyone has the same capacity for love. Some people just don't have the capacity. They love like a teacup. It's real, but or like a pond that dries up. And some people have the capacity to love like the deep end of an ocean. It's long, it's wide, it's deep, it's fully committed. It's 10 toes in. All their habits, all their good qualities, bad qualities, and everything in between. And some people just don't have the ability to commit at all. They have a very short capacity for love. And some of us are just medium. So if you're partnering with someone, or you're loving someone, or interested in someone who just has a different capacity for love than you do, we have to understand that too. Which answers a lot of the, why doesn't he love me? Or why doesn't she love me the way I love her? I can't count the times I've said that in my youth and heard that. Well, first of all, no two people could love each other exactly the same way. And I believe in any good relationship, it's just impossible that you're going to love, one of you is going to love the other more. As long as you equally are fully committed and love each other, and make some fun out of it all. Who cares if I love you a teacup more than you love me, or vice versa? The problems come in when one person just doesn't love the other one at all, or maybe neither one of you do. You know, people get married for some of the wrong reasons sometimes. They enter into a marriage based off what that person can do for them. And those are the wrong reasons to marry someone. Just because they make us feel good at the time, or they laugh at all our jokes, is not a good reason to commit to that level to someone. But we all need friends, and when you do find a friend, a dear friend who you can share all your secrets with, you know, we have acquaintances. There's levels to this. We have acquaintances, we have work friends that only know what we tell them and show them, and then we have friends that know us in our fuller capacity. And if you have good ones that won't judge you, and that they'll favor you and they'll walk by your side, consider yourself lucky. Not everybody gets those good friends. And so much of it is how we treat each other. You know, instead of saying things like, well, geez, Cheryl, you mess up everything you do, you could say, well, Cheryl, you have a tendency to rush into things full-headed, and that's why things end up kind of the way they do. Maybe this time we ought to take a step back and slow down and think about what you're doing, and maybe you'll get a different outcome. You know, bold statements are allowing Cheryl to see, but one of them is made to hurt you and not to help you. And the other one is meant to help you succeed, help you overcome the hurdle in your life. That's what a true love, a true friend would do. And so if you're lonely, cancer does, people just don't talk about loneliness. Inside of a relationship, it's because we're lacking connection. Loneliness comes from wanting an inner connection, an inner relationship with something that you just don't have. When that gets filled by a person, or filled by Jesus, that loneliness goes away. But it comes through connection. So why do we have trouble connecting to some people and not others? And why do some people not seem to be connecting with us? Well, that has to do with their capacity for love, their capacity for connecting. And a lot of it is the way we talk to each other. When we put each other down and yell at each other and insult each other, or we come out of families where our parents stayed together but all they did was fight and insult each other. Sometimes it taints our view of how this is supposed to be, or makes us fearful of even entering into a relationship. So we have to take into consideration our approach. And a lot of it is just building blocks. You know, there are people that like to build relationships in life, and there are people who like to tear them down. There are people who sabotage themselves, and there are people who come along and just kind of want to infiltrate and take over what you've built. And so if you're someone who's a builder and you're married to someone who's not, it can be a little push and pull there too. So when you're trying to make things better, or you're trying to find a good mate, there's a lot to consider. But we can change so much of that by changing our view and our approach, by changing the way we view it to better connect and meet that need. You know, to really listen to them and meet them where they're at, instead of just always trying to pull them into our way of thinking. That creates a lot of push and pull. And boy, we always like to pull people into our way of thinking. You just have to listen. It's only you to understand. And it's a very common trait. But often we just need to listen, and we need to understand. So being alone has its challenges and difficulties for sure. And we wind up being lonely inside. Or maybe we're elderly or living in isolation. Or maybe you're inside of a relationship and you just can't connect with your partner. And you're very fearful that it's just not going well. Or maybe you're just empty because it's just the same old repetitive bump and grind. So partnering with someone, the art of coupleship, that's an art. Being alone is easy. You don't have anyone else to deal with or listen to, or you don't have to watch their shows or go to their family's house. But there's so much you miss out on too. So if you find yourself alone, that's fine. But if you find yourself struggling inside a relationship, watch tomorrow as we discuss the art of coupleship. There's a science behind it. Sometimes we don't realize our choices and decisions and how they affect ourselves and the ones around us that make up our world. Some decisions and choices are small and do not impact ourselves or the ones around us much at all. Some are much larger. So from your decisions on what you will eat, to how you will spend your time and who you spend it with, to the jobs you will have, to the places you will live, to the relationships you'll cultivate versus the ones you don't, our decisions can affect ourselves and the ones around us. The funny thing is, we have a choice each day to hold joy and to be nicer, to be more pleasing. After all, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. How we treat others and how we treat ourselves does matter. And for all those alone or feeling lonely, for all of those living in isolation who had family or loved ones that you're missing and no longer draw near, if you could spend 5 minutes with Jesus today, maybe this is what he would tell you. He would tell you that you look at the world through the world's eyes. And if you looked at the world from his eyes, you would see that you are beautiful and blameless, that you are perfectly imperfect. He takes your good with your bad, your wrong choices with your right choices, your mistakes and failures, and all your successes. And he loves you anyway. And as you travel through your life, on your life's journey, whatever it is you need, I'm sure he will help you get it. Whatever it is you're looking for, I'm sure he will help you find it. Maybe you're okay just the way you are, but the only thing constant on this side of heaven is change. But you don't have to do it alone. Take Jesus with you for emotional healing, stability, direction, and guidance. Learning to walk Holy Spirit led is a conversation for another day. Right now, just waking up tomorrow, start a new base camp. Let go of toxic feelings, anything people said to you, anxiety and stress. Let it be far from you. For Jesus says his yoke is easy and his burdens are light. So why are ours so heavy? Because we hold them all in. Step 1, just letting it go. I'm never alone in the morning as I rise at the break of each day. For Jesus, who
walk through the darkness says, lo, I am with you all the way. I'm never alone at my table, though loved ones no longer I see. For dearer than all who have vanished is Jesus who breaks bread with me. I'm never alone through the day, though nothing but trials I see. Though the furnace be 7 times heated, the form of the 4th walks with me. I am never alone in twilight, when darkness surrounds me and creeps. I'm walking and talking with Jesus each day as I journey along. I am never alone. Hallelujah. The joy of the Lord is my song. Perhaps this will give you an example of how others see it to be and have known it when there's no space between you and Jesus.